Get ready for the action because Dusan Vlahovic's future at Juventus is in serious jeopardy. Contract talks are completely stalled, and we are diving deep into the details of the negotiations. We look at the 5 meetings that have taken place involving Dusan Vlahovic and his agent, Milos Vlahovic, and discover the shocking figures being discussed, including the potential wage reduction to around €7 million annually. But what are the sticking points that are keeping Juventus from securing the deal, and how close are they to a breakthrough?
Stop using your finger for notes, sketches, and edits. This Jam Jake stylus pen gives your iPad a smoother, more precise writing feel with palm rejection so your hand can rest naturally on the screen. It charges fast, works for hours, and comes with replacement tips. Perfect for school, work, or creative projects. Check the link in the comments to grab it on Amazon.
Next up, we turn our attention to the captain of Juventus, Manuel Locatelli, who is furious about a refereeing decision and demanding a complete shift in mentality. Locatelli is absolutely angry about the yellow card he received for simulation over the weekend, and he is demanding that Juventus inject more nastiness and clinical finishing if they want to seriously challenge for a Champions League spot next season. We break down exactly what Locatelli believes the team is missing in terms of intensity and ruthlessness right now. You're also looking at the disappointing performance that led to a crucial draw against Hellas Verona and the harsh criticism coming from inside the club. Pundit Massimo Caputi highlighted the Juventus mindset during that match, stating that the team simply did not go beyond a home draw, pointing to a critical lack of urgency and focus that could cost them dearly in this intense race for the top 4. Find out why this lapse in attitude is proving to be a serious problem as the season winds down. And finally, we dive back into the intense pressure cooker surrounding the Champions League qualification battle. Manuel Locatelli insists that Juventus must be more ruthless and clinical as they fight for that crucial spot against Roma and Como, and he shares his frustration over the recent performance. Don't miss the full breakdown of Locatelli's demands and what it all means for the final stretch of the season. Stay locked in with us. Dusan Vlahovic faces an uncertain future at Juventus as contract negotiations stall amid growing internal tensions. Despite a recent impressive performance, including a superb free kick against Hellas Verona that ended in 180-day scoring drought, the striker's situation remains unresolved with just 56 days remaining on his current deal. The striker is crucial to Juventus' ambitious push for a top 4 finish in Serie A, yet a significant financial gap persists between Vlahovic's representatives and the club's fiscal constraints. Reports confirm that 5 meetings have taken place involving Vlahovic's father and agent, Milos Vlahovic, with some indication that the club might consider reducing his annual wages to approximately €7 million. However, negotiations have reached a critical impasse. The deadlock centers on contentious issues, specifically agent fees and a signing bonus. Juventus has firmly refused to accommodate these additional costs, leaving the contract situation unresolved as the deadline approaches. Juventus captain Manuel Locatelli has expressed frustration over a recent yellow card received for simulation and has called for a significant increase in ruthlessness from his squad as they push for a Champions League spot next season. Locatelli stated he was angry at the decision, emphasizing that Juventus needs more nastiness and greater clinical finishing in front of goal to succeed. The club remains embroiled in a tight battle for a Champions League qualification spot, currently vying with Roma and Como. Heading into the final 3 matches of the 2025-26 season, Juventus sits in 4th place with 65 points, just 1 point ahead of Roma, who trail by 1 point, and Como, who are 3 points behind. Locatelli acknowledged that the team's performance in the recent 1-1 draw against Hellas Verona was not ideal. However, he remains confident that the race is still within Juventus's control, urging his teammates to focus on maturity and decisive action in the remaining fixtures. He stressed the need to be clinical, noting that the coach has emphasized the requirement for an extra pinch of nastiness. Addressing the pressure surrounding the season's end, Locatelli dismissed concerns about being burdened by pressure, asserting that such pressure is a familiar concept in football and that the focus must remain on the team's execution. Regarding the disciplinary issue, Locatelli specifically criticized the refereeing decision that resulted in the yellow card for simulation during the Verona match. He voiced his anger at the call, stating he was nervous, which led to the error, but firmly denied diving, adding that the decision was unwarranted given the use of VAR. Juventus suffered a disappointing draw against Verona, dropping 2 crucial points in a match that has intensified pressure as the Serie A season nears its close. The outcome is particularly concerning for the Bianconeri, who are still locked in a competitive race for a spot in the top 4 and Champions League qualification. Entering the fixture with high expectations, Juventus failed to deliver the performance necessary to secure all 3 points. The match presented a clear opportunity for Juventus to solidify their standing, especially against an opponent many anticipated overcoming easily. However, the game proved more challenging than expected, revealing significant shortcomings in both approach and execution. While the team managed to create scoring opportunities, they lacked the expected dominance, leading to concerns that their approach lacked the necessary urgency and focus at this critical juncture of the campaign. Massimo Caputi, as reported by Juve, pointed directly at the team's mindset during the game. Caputi stated that Juventus did not sufficiently press the advantage in a home draw against relegated Verona. He emphasized that the team had chances to win, but failed to capitalize on them given the expectations and the quality of the opposition, noting that their attitude, particularly in the first half, was not appropriate. This critique suggests that Juventus may have underestimated their opponents, resulting in a lack of intensity early in the contest. The dropped points carry significant weight, especially as the season enters its final phase. If rivals capitalize on similar opportunities in the closing weeks, these setbacks could prove costly. Moving forward, analysts stress that Juventus must adopt a more determined and respectful approach in every fixture if they are serious about securing a top 4 finish. Juventus captain Manuel Locatelli has expressed frustration over a yellow card received for simulation during the weekend's match, demanding a more aggressive approach from the team if they are to secure a Champions League spot next season. Locatelli stated that Juventus needs more nastiness and greater clinical finishing in front of goal. The club remains locked in a tight battle for a Champions League berth with Roma and Como. Heading into the final 3 matches of the 2025-26 season, Juventus sits in 4th place with 65 points, just 1 point ahead of Roma, who trail by 1 point, and Como, who are 3 points behind. The gap between Juventus and Roma narrowed following a 1-1 draw against Hellas Verona and a 4-0 victory for Roma against Fiorentina earlier in the week. Despite the tight race, Locatelli conveyed confidence that the competition remains within Juventus's grasp, but stressed the need for increased ruthlessness. "I think we lack a bit of competitive nastiness in certain moments," he told reporters. "We have to try to score when games are still open. Being clinical in front of goal helps us. The coach told us we need a pinch of extra nastiness." Addressing the pressure surrounding the final matches, Locatelli dismissed concerns about being burdened by it. "It's a familiar concept in football. We're used to this sort of pressure. The important thing is that it all still depends on us. We have to play these next few games with maturity. We're trying, but we lack that wickedness." Locatelli acknowledged that the performance against Verona was not ideal but maintained accountability. He strongly criticized the referee's decision to issue him a yellow card for simulation. I got angry. I don't usually talk about referees, I don't like that, but he can't give me a yellow there. I was nervous, which is why I made a mistake, but I don't dive. You can't dive with VAR, there's no point in giving me the yellow card."